Nice Girls, Nice Girl Jen here, creator founder of Nice Girls Finish Last, and wanted to do this video for you nice girls who may be currently struggling in realizing that the people that you feel should have your back don't, and maybe they're even stabbing you in it. I don't know. Talking behind your back, not quite accepting your new business venture. And it can be really, really tough. And I wanted to talk about this because it seems to be a topic that keeps kind of coming up as I'm on social media or talking with another woman about this and what she's going through in her business. So I wanted to address it. And I'm pretty sure I've addressed this before, but it's time to make a new video and share my thoughts and feelings with you. And hopefully this will help you out and kind of help empower you and encourage you to keep going, even though you're not getting the right support. So here's the thing. Everyone on this planet loves to put people and different topics and hobbies and whatever into little boxes. And they pretty much feel like everyone has to sort of fit into a certain mold, a certain box, and fit with certain criteria. But here's what you need to know. If you are a new woman entrepreneur, you are stepping out of your comfort zone, one thing. And two, you are going to start to see yourself change. The people around you are going to start seeing you change little by little. And it's going to be weird and kind of uncomfortable for them because they're so used to fitting in your world in a certain way. And now they're starting to feel like they don't quite fit. And you may have never put any kind of pressure on them to fit into any kind of mold. You haven't even asked them to join you on this journey of yours, but they still, it's like their own insecurity. Sometimes it may not even be that. Sometimes you may say, look, here's what I'm doing, or here's what I have, or here's my business, or whatever. And people, most times family, I think, can't seem to quite accept it. And they feel like you should be fitting in some type of role. I would say, personally, for my mom, love her to death, the concept of being an entrepreneur, having babies, taking care of a family, taking care of a home, and building a business didn't quite sit right with her view of how things were when she was raising her kids, right? And so you have to understand too, a lot of times people come from a different point in time where things just were looked at differently. And who's to say one is better than the other? I guess at the end of the day, you really have to just look at what the results are, okay? Because you can't ignore facts. But what also you have to consider is what might work for one person doesn't always work for another. And you have to be prepared. You have to put like your shield up or whatever you need to do, your guard up, and just realize that some people won't be able to grasp this new life of yours or this new business of yours or this new way of living. And that's okay. They're seeing things through a different lens than you are. And what you might be able to handle, they wouldn't be able to handle. And that doesn't make them less of a person in any way. That doesn't make them a person to look down upon or think badly of. No. But what you might be able to do and what works for you isn't going to always be what works for everyone else. And they can only see through the lens of what they know works for them. Now, they could either be inspired by you or they could feel insecure around you because of what they feel they're lacking, and they may not be lacking in anything, but they're playing the comparison game. And so you know, in any aspect of life, when someone starts to do the comparison game, there's envy that starts to form, there's, jealousy, there's doubt, there's criticism. And you have to stand firm in what you're doing if you plan to succeed. So for the longest time, it was like, I have a business. I run it from home. Sometimes I go to the office. And it was my priorities. It was my priorities on, I will say this, one of the biggest things that was really important to me was that when I had children, I wanted to be the one home taking care of them. I didn't want to miss the first steps. I wanted to potty train. I wanted to snuggle and cuddle and watch cartoons with them and feed them and all of those things, right? And it was my priority. I made the decision that I would be the one to do that, at least primarily. And so I made sure, knowing that while I was pregnant with my first child, that I had to set things up accordingly so that I could do that. Because for those of you watching me for the first time or haven't really seen too many of my videos and you don't know this, I started my first official business company when I was 5 months pregnant with my first child. That right there already got like the doubts and the naysayers. Jen, what are you doing? Is this really going to work out for you? I don't think you really know what you're getting into. And I did have a lot of fear. And fortunately, my husband was supportive, but he's also an entrepreneur. For those of you who don't know Joe, he's also an entrepreneur. So he gets it, right? And so he was a good support system in my business venture. But for a lot of people, you may not even have that. And it's okay. Just understand they just don't get it. They just don't get it. You know, it's like when you hang around a bunch of people who like to just eat a certain way and you can't participate in that because you've made a decision that you're going to eat this kind of way, whether it's like cutting out meat or not eating processed foods or fried things, whatever. And so when you stick to something like that and you're so disciplined, people, you would think, how does that affect their life? But somehow it does mentally. And so they start to, oh, you're doing that, or how can you do that? And they don't get it because it's not a decision they made for themselves. And that's okay. It's kind of like what I'm trying to say here is you need to accept the decision that you've made. And you need to accept that that's going to change the circle around you. That's going to change your lifestyle, your routine. That's going to change your mentality a lot. It's going to change a lot of things. Don't feel discouraged when your family or your close friends try to stick you into a role. So back to my pregnancy story. So even though, and I shared this is the funny thing, even though I shared what it is that I'm doing, even though I shared the success of my business and how much I was making a month, not to everybody, that's none of their business, but to my parents, because, you know, we talk to our parents. Even with discussing all of that and what I was doing and how well things were going and blah, 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 they still saw Jen, the stay-at-home mom, the housewife. And I did a video, and that's the thing. You could fight that, and you could be like, okay, and it's not like you should really care what titles people put on you, but because you busted your butt and you work so hard to accomplish what you do, you want that recognition of, wait a minute, yes, I am those things, but I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm also a business owner. But you know what? No, that's your own insecurity. It doesn't matter what people think you do, what title they want to give you, what they know or don't know. It's you know, and the people that work with you know or do business with you know. So what does it matter what everyone else thinks? And stop feeling like you have to fit in a certain role just because people think that's the role you're in or should be in. Another funny thing is if you do a lot of your business online on social media, then you work on your phone. And you know, being on social media a lot and, you know, when you're hanging out, there's certain times where you should put the phone down and have good quality one-on-one time or time with your friends and family and be respectful of that, not just for them, but for you too, because what kind of really relationships do you have with them, or what kind of quality of life do you really have if you're like surrounded by great people and you're just like on here all the time, right? So have a balance, guys. You can log off. But that being said, a lot of the freedom or flexibility that comes with having your own business means being able to work anywhere. So sometimes there is an email that you kind of need to answer while you're at lunch. There is something you need to make sure to post at 3 o'clock, but yet you're at a family event from 1 to 6. Well, it's 3 o'clock. You need to get that posted out there. It's critical to your marketing strategy that you've created for whatever it is that you're promoting at the time, and so on. And then you've got the critics that are like, oh, get off your phone. Well, I can understand if you've been on your phone for 30 minutes, but if you were on there for about 10 minutes to handle something so you can enjoy the rest of your time, don't let that discourage you. And if they don't get it, and you're like, listen, I'm not on here playing around. And I wouldn't say this because it'd be really insulting, but in your head, you're thinking, maybe you're on social media to share pictures of going to the zoo or hanging out at the pool or something cute your kid did. And I may share those things as well, but I'm actually on here because I'm marketing, I'm promoting, I'm talking to a customer, I'm getting new leads, whatever the case may be. And so they don't understand that because, again, they don't live your lifestyle. They don't understand. And some, when you communicate that to them, they'll get it and they'll leave you alone. But most don't. They still can't grasp it because they're seeing your life through what they know of their own life, and their life doesn't go that way. So they don't understand what it is you do, your challenges, your routine, all of that. And if you've already communicated that with them and they still keep fitting you into a box that they want to fit you in or into a role that you're really not in, who cares? Let it just roll right past you because it doesn't matter. You need to focus on what you need to focus on to make your business successful, because if you made a decision to build a business, then take it seriously. Because if you find yourself getting discouraged, nice girl, and you start giving into maybe I should play that role, then you start to have all of these doubts, your business will fail. Bottom line, your business will fail because I've seen it happen time and time again with women. They throw in the towel because they cannot stand the pressure any longer from those closest to them. It's almost for them, they feel it's better to just give up on it all and fit to where they want you to fit instead of living their dream and what they feel is their purpose. Don't do that. You have to seriously block that out. Block it out. Start doing that today. If you've gone through anything like this at all, share your story real briefly in the comments and let all these other women know your personal experience. It could be short because, listen, you're not the only one going through it. And it also is encouraging to hear from another woman of what she's gone through, and maybe what I shared with you, and I could give you stories for days, but I'll just leave it at those. Maybe that helped you out and say, oh, well, Jen went through that too, or if you don't really know me, she went through that too. Yeah, that's basically how I feel right now. Don't get discouraged. You've got to develop a thick skin if you're going to make it, and you can't start to find yourself drifting into those roles that they think you should be in, want you in, whatever, or you will fail in your business and you will throw in the towel. Ladies, if you're watching this, please give this a like and a share if you related to any of it or if you know people who do. And also, if you need serious help with your marketing, then go to nicegirlsfinishlast.com. I will help you with that and sales and more. And also, if you're just looking for guidance to be able to implement things and you want real value, you don't want all of that fluff you find online and all of that nonsense that gets you motivated and doesn't give you results, then go to joinclub100.com and get information there on how you could be part of that club and start building your business to a 6-figure level. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon.